In terms of trends, here in London we've seen a lot of velvet, a lot of rich colours. We've seen embroidery, lace, tons of wonderful coats, a lot of flat shoes, sneakers, combat boots, everything that grounds the powerful woman as she strides forward. Looking at Christopher Kane's show and seeing his women in armour, it was very much about the empowerment of women. It was an incredible last show for Burberry. I think that he summed up everything he believes in, whether it's gay rights or optimism, the spirit of youth, the spirit of London streets. I think just showing it in a warehouse, nothing pretentious, nothing grand, it's so much in Christopher's spirit. He's not a designer that has ever locked himself away or cut himself off from life, as I think with some success people tend to do. He's very much a man of the arts, of culture, and I think that was all beautifully distilled in the collection. I think it made us all feel very emotional, and I just can't wait to see what Burberry does next, but most of all to see what Christopher does next. For me, JW has always been a guiding light of British fashion, and what I was happy to see was a much clearer dividing line between what he does for L'Hervé and what he's doing for his own collection, and it seemed to me he was taking JW in a much younger direction, a much more London street direction. I love Simone's show. I think that she is such an original designer, and I think she grows every season. Her sense of colour, her sense of fabrics, her sense of femininity becomes more and more powerful. I was thrilled to see the Item show. Not only was it beautiful, very romantic, very rich, to take his collection out of the very gloomy black box that he was showing in before, and to take it into the beautiful National Portrait Gallery. I was talking to him backstage under this most extraordinary portrait of Anne Boleyn. He was talking a lot about an American woman, Adele Astaire, and how her freedom and her sense of being a woman collided with being a great lady of an Irish castle. And I think it really worked. It told the story for him, which is, after all, what a fashion show needs to do. It needs to tell a story. Fashion has to be about change, and I think the show and the ritual of going to all the shows have become very stuck. And you may see beautiful clothes, but because it's always the same, it does get a little repetitive. So the fact that we're now seeing generations in both London and New York wanting to question everything and do it differently, how exciting and wonderful is that? That's what fashion should be about.